All right, welcome back to another live trading session. The market is gonna open in exactly 45 seconds. I have already outlined everything, which you can see in my markup video, which I will also upload. But I'm not too fond of the situation today. And as you can see, we already mitigated into the hourly SIBI and 50-minute SIBI, which was actually my most conservative draw, but that already happened pre-market. So now it's either we're gonna break through, retest that, and look for these equal highs up here and maybe the 4-hour mitigation up here, or we're not gonna see too much today because shorts are also off the table because of daily, weekly, 4-hour and hourly support down here. So I'm not looking for shorts in any type of way. So we'll see. On top of that, now market is open. Opening range gap just projected and it is red. That means it's bigger than 120 points bearish. Bearish, strong opening range gap, which also limits the upside further, right? But the highest point I can long into is this one. That's the CE level, and that's right below the 4-hour SIBI CE. So everything I'm looking for is within that parameter here in the lower half of the opening range gap. So I can definitely look for these targets up here. My first one would be the London ledge high, which is relative equal highs with London high, and then the open range gap CE essentially. And then the very first target would be this lower quadrant here if we're not gonna fill that pre-market before we can enter. All right, let's mark up some CE sell side here. The ES is also like in the midst of the hourly and 50-minute and 4-hourly SIBI, so I really don't like that today, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens. We tapped the, what is that, hourly? Yeah, that's an hourly SIBI. We tapped the hourly SIBI CE here. Let me just quickly check what that looks like. Okay, we tapped the CE of this bigger gap, which recently led to the continuation of the downtrend here. But now we have higher time frame support, so we could see it change trend to the upside on the hourly, meaning we could take out these and fill in this. And I will also quickly mark up 73.25, 72. So I'll mark up this gap, which also represents an hourly SIBI, and the CE of that gap is also another draw, which we could look for, which sits right above our main draw here, so that's good. Let's see. Maybe this will happen, in a matter of a few minutes, and I will not be part of it. Could be the case, I also said in the markup video, that I'm not expecting any kind of Judas to the downside, to be honest, because we already had that move down here, which took out the London lunch low. That's basically the Judas for the session, right? Took out lows and then we went higher. All right, lower quadrant already filled. Opening range gap, lower quadrant hit. What I'm not really sure about is whether or not I should take this entry immediately here, right? Because essentially, like, it could work, but I don't like it too much. Let me see on a 5-minute. We already have quite a displacement here, so playing it aggressively, you could do that technically and place the stop at the CE here, which would be this, and then aim for, well, the first target would be this one here, right? Let's see. So depending on where it closes, but you could aim for the hourly CE here of that SIBI. But to be really honest with you here, I personally would not take it. You would be filled right now, and it might just work out, but that's, I don't know. I don't like that too much. I'd rather wait until we close below the first AM and then reclaim it, and then I would enter. That would be much better for me. So let's see what happens. Okay, we got a good rejection here. It's nice. Bit of a stronger candle lower here. All right, if you entered, this would be the CE point, yeah, the break-even point. So you would have to go break-even now. Let's see if it goes up here. Good close above the London 1st AM. All right, and now you would be kicked out at break-even here. So you see, it's always a risk, you know, and an unnecessary risk, to be honest, to enter when we have that level of resistance. We don't have a Judas, so, you know, might as well be more cautious. But a break-even trade, you know, cannot hurt your account, so you can always try it. Okay, so at the moment we have an SMT top here. We closed below the 1st AM now. So if we reclaim that, that would be a nice trade for me, to be honest. So let's see, what account is that here? Okay, that's a challenge account. Let's see. 1,500. Let's do 500 here. Okay, maybe we'll just be too strong for an entry here. Might just be the case. We'll see. Okay. It's a fee if we get filled here. Okay, we're filled. So that's a 1.36. It's not a great one, but it's worth a try. If we just break down here, I'm probably off for the day, but because then, you know, first AM is not being respected in any type of way, and I generally don't like that. We'll see. We also got another 5-minute gap in here, which we also could see being mitigated into before we go higher. Right, so it could just go down here, tap that, and then go further up. That might be the case. So I'm just gonna cut the stop here a little bit because I don't want to take too much risk here. See, 30 seconds, still close. Ten seconds. This is the break-even point here. Okay, good close. I'll cut below this candle here. I'd love to see like a quick, you know, snap into it and then coming back down. Okay, we're break even. We are already break even. And I'm already okay with this close position. All right. Yeah, that's probably it for me today. Let's see what it does. So we took out my major draw for the day. We barely missed the hourly SIBI here. Let's see if it can still take that out. Then we have the opening range gap CE right here. And the very last target for me would be the full hourly SIBI CE here. But, you know, again, this was not high probability. In such cases, when I don't have a Judas swing, I always wait for something like this to happen, like a close below and then a reclaim for the first AM, because that's my continuation playbook. I would never just, you know, enter with the first gap without having a Judas of some sort, because that is what I used to call delayed Judas swing. You know, even if it doesn't take out sell side, it closes below the first AM and reclaims it, right? And boom, now we hit that hourly CE here. Let's see if it can fill the opening range gap. Okay, so that was this one. I think that was $500, right? Yeah. $500 on the day, but note that was only my challenge account. So on such days where I'm really not confident, I'm usually just trading my challenge accounts, you know, because that's not worth it for the live accounts. And that was the challenge account, and I was risk off, right? So I didn't risk the full risk that I usually take. Let's see. All right, low of the daily CB hit, and boom, open range gap CE hit and far CE hit. So that would be it for me. Obviously, we have these levels of liquidity up here and quite a few more, but you would never just long into that. You know, I would not advise you to do so. If that's a, you know, symmetrical move, then this would be the CE formation and that's it for the move. Or we're just gonna, that could also be the quarter formation of that, and then, you know, we're forming a CE formation around that level and then go higher. Might be the case, but I would not advise you to long in such a market, you know. So yeah, that's it for me from today. That's it from me for today, and I hope you liked it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.